Hello, hello, hello to our listeners and viewers in Southeast Asia. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, America. Guten Tag, Ilpa. Bon après-midi à tous nos auditeurs, téléspectateurs de Parfum Soufon. Magandang umaga, Bicolanja. Welcome to another edition of Anuna Bev, Best Express Views. Viewers, subscribers, friends, and family from all over the world. Hello, hello, hello. On to our Best Express Views. Once each year, Jehovah's Witnesses commemorate the death of Jesus, just as he commanded in Luke chapter 22, verse 19. Jesus said, "Keep doing this in remembrance of me." With us is the original spokesperson of Jehovah's Witnesses via Zoom, Mr. Juan Lobato. Welcome to the show, Mr. Lobato. Yay!
Thank you, Bev. It's a pleasure to be with you.
First time.
Yes, it is. I've been looking forward to meeting you.
Yay! So, Juan, your global campaign during the season, I frequently encounter Jehovah's Witnesses distributing campaign materials like this, focusing on the topic of Jesus' death. Could you provide more details on the ongoing global campaign initiated by Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yeah, your comment is the experience of many people. With that campaign taking place around the world, many people have recognized Jehovah's Witnesses. And during this campaign, what's interesting is you may be in one part of the world and be given the invitation. You get back home and one of your coworkers or a friend may invite you again as well. And so each year, yes, Jehovah's Witnesses for a few weeks prior to March 24th this year, focus on trying to invite their coworkers, their acquaintances, and their friends to help them commemorate the death of Jesus. Since this is the most important meeting of the year, we'd like as many as possible to join us. So there is a concerted effort globally to invite as many people as we can.
Can you explain the significance of the Memorial of Jehovah's Witnesses and why it is observed annually?
Yes. Well, since these are the two greatest acts of love in history, Jehovah's Witnesses want to continue to commemorate it, just as Jesus commanded there at Luke 22:19 to keep doing this in remembrance of me. When Jesus introduced this, it was at the Passover 33 CE, the Jewish Passover, and that evening he instituted the memorial, this Lord's evening meal. And so Jehovah's Witnesses continue to follow that first century example, and they follow the Bible lunar calendar. So each year what they strive to do is find the date Nice and 14 collaborates with, and this year it's March 24th after sundown.
And just a brief overview of what to expect at the Memorial of Jesus Christ. For those unfamiliar with the memorial, could you walk us through what typically happens during the observance?
Yes. The first thing they'll notice is they'll be warmly welcomed. And so the meeting begins with a song, and then there will also be an opening prayer, and then there will be a talk that centers around the memorial, helping us to appreciate exactly what the memorial is, its significance, and following the same pattern that Jesus did with his disciples will also be a part of it, and explaining how we can benefit from it as well. The meeting will conclude with another song and a prayer. And so we'd like people to know, too, that this meeting is free of charge. Collections are never taken. And so we'd like as many of our friends and neighbors and acquaintances to attend with us.
And it's just, how long does it usually take? Like 45 minutes?
It's about 1 hour. It lasts about
an hour. Just 1 hour, right?
Just 1 hour.
Yes. And then the memorial commemorates Jesus' death. How do Jehovah's Witnesses view Jesus' sacrifice, and what message do you hope to convey through this observance?
Well, for Jehovah's Witnesses, what we recognize is Jesus' offering of his life, that sacrifice provided a ransom. Now, that ransom makes possible everlasting life here on earth. Every promise that the Bible highlights about the future and that paradise and there no longer being any death, pain, or suffering centers around what Jesus accomplished while here on earth. So because of that great act of love, it is the most important day of the year for Jehovah's Witnesses, because it reminds us, as it reminds all Christians, that Jehovah loves us personally, and he was unwilling to hold back anything, including his most beloved relationship with his son. So it really draws us closer to Jehovah, And as we mentioned, we would love for people to attend with us, and it allows us to really focus on this great act of love and what it means for us individually as well.
And Jehovah's Witnesses are known for their door-to-door ministry. How does the invitation campaign for the memorial work?
Well, in over 233 lands around the globe, the 8.6 million Jehovah's Witnesses will be focusing on this personal invitation. The personal invitation is key because we want people to know that they are personally invited, them and their families, to take part in this event. And so throughout the world, it began this past Saturday, March 2nd, and it has been continuing on, and it will right up until March 24th when the memorial will be commemorated.
And what sets Jehovah's Witnesses apart in their observance of Jesus' Last Supper compared to the practices of other religions?
Well, for Jehovah's Witnesses, what we strive to do is to follow that first century example of when Jesus instituted this memorial with his disciples that evening on 33 CE after sundown. So we follow that same example, following that pattern that you'll find in 1 Corinthians as well. And so we appreciate that we can imitate that. And then the thing that we strive to do as well is it is only commemorated once a year, just like the Jewish Passover was. And then also we follow the lunar calendar, and not the modern day calendar. And so on that lunar calendar, we strive to find out when Nisan 14 will actually fall on. So this year it falls on March 24th, and after sundown, we'll celebrate the memorial with probably over 20 million people worldwide, which is how many attended last year.
Wow. We have a question from a viewer in Henderson, Nevada. Lloyd asked, in what manner can one individual's death be significant for the entire human population?
Now, that's a question many people have asked to try to understand how this one act that Adam committed, this act of disobedience, would condemn everybody to death. And so the Bible beautifully describes how this does occur. So that one act of disobedience can actually be undone by one act of obedience. So if I can read that scripture for you there, it's in Romans chapter 5, and it's in verse 18 and 19. It reads, "So then, as through one trespass," that's Adam's disobedience, "the result to men of all sorts was condemnation, so too, through one act of justification, the result to men of all sorts is their being declared righteous for life. For just as through the disobedience of the one man, many were made sinners, so also through the obedience of the one person, many will be made righteous." So what we see occurring here is through Jesus' flawless life while here on earth, he was that one act of justification, that obedience. So what this did is allow him to be in a position to provide the ransom to all those who would obediently follow his example and accept this arrangement.
Jesus obeyed. So, but perfect plus perfect, it has to be a perfect match, correct?
That's exactly what it is. Adam was a perfect man, and that one act of disobedience in that perfection condemned mankind to death. So now Jesus, as a perfect man, lived a flawless life of obedience. So in essence, he bought back, he paid the ransom that Adam had lost.
That's why we have the chance of living forever because of Jesus, correct?
Correct. That makes it a prospect of everlasting life. So now you would have to accept that this is the arrangement, that Jesus died for our sins, and we accept that. And then we show our appreciation by living a life of obedience and following the Bible's direction, just as Jesus did in obedience to his heavenly Father, Jehovah.
Very well said. Another question from a viewer, Ken D. Ken asks, does attending the memorial event of Christ's death imply salvation and forgiveness from sins?
No, it's a good question. What this attending is a commemoration. We recognize the great act of love on God's part, Jehovah, and on his son, Jesus. And what that memorial will do is it'll help us to appreciate what was done. And then it's at that time that we'd be moved to show some appreciation. And again, even as Jesus said, we begin to exercise faith in this ransom by following the life example that he set while here on earth, and continue in that life course of obedience so that we might have a prospect of gaining that everlasting life here on earth that Jehovah intended when he first created the earth.
Shows of gratitude, right?
Exactly.
So
it's a good way to say that gratitude we have for that great act of love.
And this year's memorial is on March 24, 2024. What are the key events planned for this day, and how can people participate?
Jehovah's Witnesses will continue inviting their friends and neighbors, coworkers and acquaintances and such throughout that day. And also a beautiful provision is being made on jw.org. There'll be a worship talk given based on the memorial, helping us prepare our minds and hearts for what we'll attend that evening. And so that's free to anybody who wants to go to jw.org to see that Bible-based discourse about the memorial. And then we'll continue to prepare ourselves as well with prayer and some more Bible reading to really help our hearts to be in a position to appreciate what's been done for us that evening with millions around the world.
How can members of the community find local venue?
Good question. Again, it's the same website, jw.org. It'll have information about the memorial. There'll also be a way to find out where local venues might be in the local communities throughout the world.
Like this one has a time and the place. So if you get this invitation, it's printed already where to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. That's a good point. When you receive that personal invite, that's for the local venue in your area. Absolutely.
In Tagalog, in Japanese, in Spanish, in the language of your desire.
Hundreds of languages it'll be followed through with throughout the world.
And with millions attending the memorial worldwide, what impact do you believe this event has on the community, both locally and globally?
That's a good question. You think about 20 million people being united for a single evening because of their love and appreciation for what God has done, offering up his son. No doubt it'll move all of us who attend to be moved to live a life of appreciation, to show that we're grateful for this opportunity of everlasting life here on earth. And the outworkings of that would be, we'll strive to be better people. We'll show love to our neighbors. And no doubt that's the impact it had last year on the over 20 million who attended. And it will be the same impact on those who attend this year.
And in light of the current global situation, are there any special considerations or arrangements for the memorial this year?
Yeah, communities throughout the world are enduring a lot of different circumstances. And so there will be, though, around the world in the local communities, a venue to attend the memorial. Now, if their personal circumstances prevent them from attending, they can contact those local witnesses, and they will most likely be able to tie in through video conference to the meeting.
Ayan. Let's pause for a break, and when we return, Anuna Bev, prepare to be captivated as the second segment explores the special Bible talk, The Resurrection, Victory Over Death, an opportune subject that instills hope for our loved ones and explores how it can profoundly impact your life, the significance behind the resurrection and its triumphant victory over death. Stay tuned.
3 decades of Filipino talent. 1 star-studded party. Asap natin to California! August 3 at the Toyota Arena, Ontario, California. Grab your tickets now. Get 15% off when you purchase online until March 8 or call your nearest ticket agent. Get your tickets now.
Don't be fooled by flashy ads. When it comes to personal injury, choose the Richard Harris Law Firm. Dahil kay Richard Harris, wala kang worries.
The Richard Harris Law Firm, just in case.
I've been seeing the Richard Harris Law Firm billboards everywhere for years. But when I met him personally, I knew totoo siya. He is not just a billboard. Sa Richard Harris Law Firm, less fee, guaranteed.
Sabi ng patients ko, they don't need a colonoscopy because they don't feel anything. But colon cancer is a silent killer. It affects both men and women, mayaman man o mahirap. Have your colon checked.
With an unprecedented track record, Ardent Home Health Care Agency shines.
We work closely and diligently with our clients, their families, and their physicians.
We are committed to providing an involved trusting partnership with our clients.
We provide more than just medical services.
We help our clients restore their optimum level of function and health. We are responsive and compassionate to the varying needs of our clients.
Ardent Home Health Care Agency, where care meets heart.
3 decades of Filipino talent. 1 star-studded party. Asap natin to, California! August 3 at the Toyota Arena, Ontario, California. Grab your tickets now. Get 15% off when you purchase online until March 8 or call your nearest ticket agent. Get your tickets now.
Welcome back. Still with us, regional spokesperson of Jehovah's Witnesses, Mr. Juan Lobato.
Hello, Bev. Glad to get to continue our discussion.
Yes. So besides Christ's memorial, the most important date of the year, what is this special talk? Can you tell us more about this special talk and its importance?
Yes, the special talk will be a Bible-based discourse that's delivered a week before the memorial at the local kingdom halls. It will focus on the resurrection, what it is, how it'll be accomplished, and what it means for us personally, and how we can build our faith in that promise that all our dead loved ones have an opportunity to be resurrected and to enjoy that life, that perfect life in paradise earth.
Adam is death, Jesus is life. And so now we're talking about resurrection. So how does the profound significance of the resurrection provide hope for the future of our loved ones?
That's a good question. The Bible-based belief in the resurrection is a powerful point for our faith. All of us, unfortunately, have been touched by the sting of death. But to know the resurrection and have the concrete evidence that it will be accomplished and that Jehovah has all these, our dear loved ones, in his memory and wants to resurrect them really comforts us and helps us to appreciate that death is not the end of it, but Jehovah has the power to do away with it, and he's willing and has paid the price to bring back our dead loved ones through the resurrection.
In what ways can the triumphant victory over death, as discussed in the resurrection victory over death, impact our daily lives?
Well, as we deal with the changing circumstances in this world, a lot of them are very challenging, life-threatening situations because of maybe we're in a war-torn area, but also health concerns and natural disasters. Sometimes that fear of death paralyzes us. But with the hope of the resurrection, we recognize that this life isn't all there is. God, Jehovah, deemed that there was something more. And that resurrection helps us to appreciate that even though death may come, that hope is not lost. So it helps us to not have a short-sighted view of life, but we look forward to the future when all of God's promises will be fulfilled. And that's all because of the dear price that he paid with the ransom of his son, Jesus.
We need to hang on to that hope. So the grief we feel when a loved one dies does not mean that we lack faith in the resurrection. What insights does the special Bible talk offer on navigating challenges and finding inspiration through the message of conquering death?
That's a good point you make. It's not a lack of faith that causes us to feel the pain. It's not natural to lose their loved ones. So we've all felt that sting, even though we may have confidence in that resurrection. So the talk helps us to appreciate as well that Jehovah and Jesus both understand how hard it is to lose a loved one. But when we take comfort from the scriptures and we see the concrete evidence of a resurrection and how important that is, and even that Jehovah desires to bring back these individuals, it really helps us to cope with that loss and also equips us to share this hope with others that are experiencing loss even right now.
And finally, for our audience who may be interested in attending the memorial and the special talk, what would you like them to know before they go?
Well, the invitation is open to all. Both meetings will be free of charge. No collections will take place. And it's a beautiful opportunity to just take a few minutes a couple of hours to meditate on what God has done, that he's accomplished something that gives us a hope for a better life in the future. What we're currently experiencing, even the loss of loved ones, isn't the end. But Jehovah has paid the price, and his son willingly allowed himself to be a part of that so that we might all have hope for that everlasting life and be united with our dead loved ones when they're resurrected as well. And so we want nothing more than for our neighbors, our coworkers, and our acquaintances to come hear about this Bible-based hope. And if they have more questions, they have those questions answered, and to see exactly how much Jehovah loves each and every one of us because of as we see through the willingness of him to sacrifice his son.
Ayan. Thank you very much for your time, Juan. What an insightful conversation with you, as always.
Thank you very much, Bev. It's been a pleasure talking with you about this important topic, but also the timing of it as well, right before the memorial. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much for your time. And so, the pain of losing a loved one in death has been the subject of much research in recent times. Yet, as demonstrated previously, the best expert advice often harmonizes with the ancient wisdom found in the Bible. Whom do you look forward to welcoming back in the resurrection? How do you picture the reunion? Ladies and gentlemen, a better future to look forward to. Imagine a time in the future when those who have passed away will be resurrected to life here on earth. To learn more, go to www.jw.org. Until next time, see you again. Subscribe na!
3 decades of Filipino talent. 1 star-studded party. Asap natin to, California! August 3 at the Toyota Arena, Ontario, California. Grab your tickets now. Get 15% off when you purchase online until March 8 or call your nearest ticket agent. Get your tickets now!
Don't be fooled by flashy ads. When it comes to personal injury, choose the Richard Harris Law Firm. Dahil kay Richard Harris, wala kang worries.
The Richard Harris Law Firm, just in case.
I've been seeing the Richard Harris Law Firm billboards everywhere for years. But when I met him personally, I knew totoo siya. He is not just a billboard. Sa Richard Harris Law Firm, less fee, guaranteed.
Sabi ng patients ko, they don't need a colonoscopy because they don't feel anything. But colon cancer is a silent killer. It affects both men and women, mayaman man o mahirap. Have your colon checked.
With an unprecedented track record, Ardent Home Health Care Agency shines.
We work closely and diligently with our clients, their families, and their physicians.
We are committed to providing an involved trusting partnership with our clients.
We provide more than just medical services.
We help our clients restore their optimum level of function and health.
We are responsive and compassionate to the varying needs of our clients.
Ardent Home Health Care Agency, where care meets heart.
3 decades of Filipino talent. 1 star-studded party. Asap natin to, California! August 3 at the Toyota Arena, Ontario, California. Grab your tickets now. Get 15% off when you purchase online until March 8 or call your nearest ticket agent.